Okay, so you chose Concordia. So here's how it's going to go. All right, Mrs. Jones, can I tell you a little bit about myself quick? And then I'm going to ask some questions about you, and then we'll get right to the Cutco presentation. How's that sound?
Wonderful.
Okay. All right. So I graduated from Park High School this spring in May of 2020. And I graduated with honors. And I wrestled in high school. And wrestling was really my passion, Mrs. Jones. So I chose to go to Concordia, planned to wrestle there. And I chose Concordia because I loved how the athletes and the students just held themselves to a higher standard. And I loved the excellence. And there was a lot of Concordia I liked in that way. And I chose neurochemistry because I was really interested in psychology and I was really interested in chiropractics. It was kind of a weird combination of both. So that's what I planned to go to school for. Well, then I graduated and I got this letter in the mail from Vector Marketing. And Mrs. Jones, honestly, for work before this, all I ever had done was blank. What'd you ever do?
Landscaping.
Landscaping. So this whole like marketing thing, I was like, all right, I'll just check it out. Well, then I found out they sold Cutco knives. All right, Mrs. Jones, have you ever heard of Cutco before? No, you've never heard of it? Okay, so my family's had Cutco for 50 years. So like I showed up, I knew it was Cutco, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do this. Like I can do this. I know Cutco. Well, then I got an interview. I got accepted for the job. I'm sitting in knife training, Mrs. Jones. I'm going to be honest. I never woke up with a burning passion for knives or anything like that. I just ended up in the right place at the right time. I didn't think I'd sell a single knife. I really didn't. I didn't. But I just worked my tail. What'd you sell in your fast start?
2.3K.
2.3K. How many appointments did you do?
Like 10.
How many people were in your training class from St. Paul?
3 or 4.
Did you sell more? Did you have the biggest fast start out of all of them?
Probably.
Fact check that, but then you can say this. Mrs. Jones, I didn't think I'd sell anything. Well, there was a group of people from my office in training, and there's a fast start contest for your first couple of weeks, and I actually ended up selling more than every single one of them. And so like I said, I didn't think I'd sell anything, but I just did more appointments than everyone else in my office. And what I thought would be, a couple week job of just doing the bare minimum and just getting by has turned into a summer of pushing myself and being outside my comfort zone and networking. And I've got to meet so many amazing people like you, Mrs. Jones. So thank you again for just sitting down with me. But being an 18-year-old kid and asking people to buy things that aren't Girl Scout cookies, that can be scary. And so the jobs pushed me out of my comfort zone for sure. And that's probably my favorite thing about it. Well, then Mrs. Jones, after the summer, I had a decision to make. With all my classes being pushed to online, then this is where you just kind of tell your story of like why you didn't take your classes. So it's like, Mrs. Jones, my classes went online. And like I said, I chose Concordia because of wrestling and because they held themselves to a higher standard. Well, I found out working with Vector, this was the higher standard that I was craving. And I was just surrounded by people that pushed themselves and set goals and chased after dreams. And we just do so many things in Vector that I had never even heard of doing before. And the type of people I'm surrounded by right now are the exact type of people that I've always wanted to work with and be around. And so with classes being online and no wrestling season, I just decided that right now my time is better spent working with Vector and getting skills and experience this way. And if I decide that formal education is going to be my thing, I can always take my classes. But if I do it, I want to have a bunch of money saved up through working with Cutco so I can pay for it in full, not take out loans, and be able to actually sit in the classroom and learn the material. And so right now I'm just doing a shit ton of appointments, Mrs. Jones. I'm doing 30 appointments a week. I'm trying to sell $2,000 every single week. And if I do, Mrs. Jones, I can pay for school in full if I want to go back next fall. So that's my biggest goal. Mrs. Jones, my biggest goal is not to sell you $2,000 of Cutco today, by the way. My biggest goal is that we have enough fun that you want to tell every single one of your friends about me so I can keep doing this the whole school year. Boom. How's that?
I just want to give you my contacts right now.
There we
I
go.
think you just solved my entire demo problem.
You like
Yeah.
that?
I loved that. I think my entire demo just got fixed.
That's what I mean, man. You just have to become someone that people want to tell their friends about,
Right.
and someone that people want to buy from.
Framing
I
is
actually got goosebumps telling your story for you right there.
I got goosebumps from that. I want to meet me.
So yeah,
Oh my
that
God. Thank
that
you.
is a power intro.